Hi everyone, welcome to DaryaCrochetLife. My name is Darya. Today I'm going to show you how to make the knit stitch in continental style. I have 15 stitches on my needle right now. If you don't know how to cast on your stitches, please look one of my last videos. So now I'm going to tell you how to lay your work on your hands. So in the right hand I have empty needle, and I'm taking it like a fork or knife, like this. And on the left hand I have my needles with stitches, and I'm taking it the same way, like fork or knife, but I need to put this end that goes from the ball on my index finger, like this. This is very important. And with these 3 fingers I will control the tension by holding this end that goes from the ball. I'm taking my work using these 2 fingers, thumb and index, like this. And the yarn from the ball lays on my index finger. Make sure that you will not start to knit with this end. Make sure that you start to knit with the yarn that goes from the ball. So the first stitch in continental knitting is slipped, but not on the first row. So in the first row I'm gonna knit all my stitches. First, what I need to do is to insert the right needle into the first stitch. I'm doing it knitwise from left to right, like this. Then I have my working yarn here laying on my thumb, on my index finger, and I grab that yarn like this and pull it through the loop, through the first stitch. Then I need to drop that old stitch from the left needle. And here is my really beautiful first knit stitch. Now I need to repeat this to the end of the row. So I insert my right needle from this side, from left to right, like this, open the stitch, then grab the yarn, pull it through the stitch and drop the old stitch from the needle. Now I have 2 knit stitches. Next, open the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through the stitch and drop the old stitch. Try to find the position of the yarn that will work for you, because I know that some people, they have the index finger like this, far from their knitting, and they still can do this knit stitch very, very easily. Maybe this method would be easier for you, but I prefer to control the knitting with these 2 fingers, to touch it all the time, like this. And the last stitch we also knit the same way. Yeah. And here is our first row of knitted stitches. So in order to make the next row, you turn your work like this, Then in continental knitting we always slip our first stitch, so that will make our edge very, very beautiful. But before doing that, you need to put your working yarn at the back like this. Don't do it too hard, because you will have 2 loops instead of 1. You don't need that, you need just 1 stitch. You cannot even take this yarn, just put it at the back. Then slip the first stitch, but in this case you start from right to left, and you slip it from one needle to another needle. Then you need to put your working yarn at the back and now you could start working your knit stitches the same way as I already showed you. So you open your stitch from left to right like this, and then grab the working yarn and pull it through the stitch and drop the stitch. And now we have 2 rows. Turn our work, put the working yarn at the back, slip the first stitch from right to the left, slip it to the right needle, then put the working yarn at the back, and now you could make your next row of knit stitches. I finished several rows. I was knitting all of them, and look what beautiful pattern I have. This pattern's name is Garter stitch. So if you knit all stitches in all rows, you will have garter stitch. It looks identical from both sides. So right side and wrong side looks the same. This is really good pattern for the edges, and this is the easiest one. So you could make lots of beautiful garments and projects using this method. And look at the edge. I have beautiful braid at both sides. Really, really beautiful. That's because we slipped our first stitch the way that I showed you. And the last thing that I want to explain you is how to count the rows in garter stitch. So in garter stitch we don't count row by row, we count these ridges. So these waves or bumps. The first ridge is here, 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. From this side I have 7. And if I count from the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I also have 7. That means that I finished 14 rows, which creates 7 ridges on both sides. If you have any questions on how to knit your stitch, just ask me in the comments down below. Please like this video, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.